All right, well, hello and welcome again to another episode of Mike Takes the Mic, where we pick the brain of Headmaster Christopher Dyer here at Reborn Martial Arts in Springfield, Virginia. As always, if you're in the area, feel free to stop by Reborn Martial Arts. We're just across the street from Total Wine. They don't pay us to say that, but they probably should. And here with a somewhat hopefully controversial question. If you feel the controversy, feel free to make your opinions known in the comments. But what is the best kind of fight scene or fight fights in movies? I definitely have some very strong opinions. And who wants to go first? Sounds like you're going first.
I guess I'll go first. I'll break it apart into three things. Two people versus each other, one person versus a crowd, and then a weapons scene. So let's do that.
So empty hand one-on-one, what is it?
Empty hand one-on-one. I'm going to go to that one at the end. I'm still thinking about that. I don't know. I think, I got it. Cliffs of Insanity. No, not the Cliffs of Insanity. After the fact, when he's the Dread Pirate Roberts, Man in Black, versus Vicini.
So this is Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. The nimble Man in Black versus Andre the Giant Vicini. He picks up a rock, tries to smash him in the head. He misses on purpose, because he wants to, man versus man, fight him out. And obviously, Andre the Giant could crush the puny little Dread Pirate Roberts, but the Dread Pirate Roberts has wits about him and manages to choke him out from behind. Classic. Love that part. It's not a lot of striking back and forth. It's more of a wits versus brawn, which I appreciate.
Kind of a tortoise and a hare approach.
Yeah, it's great. So that's my single people versus each other. What's yours?
I don't really classify them the same way. I tend to think of the overall general impression of the fight scene, just how cool it is.
Mm-hmm. Hallway scene.
Uh-huh.
Hallway scene, Daredevil TV show. Did you see this one?
I've seen Daredevil. I haven't seen Hallway Scene.
The hallway scene. If you're out there and you know what I'm talking about.
Is this the? Oh, so this is your.
This is was on Netflix before it got taken over by Disney. They did Daredevil season 1, I think it is, and our hero goes into a building, and I think it's one cut. I think they did it in one cut, and it's just camera in hallway, and it's just people coming out of rooms, and pop, 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 pop. It's beautiful. It's
pretty astonishing.
Beautiful choreography, yeah. So that's my person versus mini.
And how about weapons?
So I'm going to go with influential here. Is that it's not necessarily what I would call the greatest choreographed thing. It's not necessarily the most epic, like weapon versus weapon type of thing, but for me it was extremely influential. And don't roast me, or do, I don't care. It wasn't the best movie, but it was influential for me. It was Troy, the movie Troy. And it's the Hector versus Achilles fight scene, spear and shield versus spear and shield. And why it was influential was that movie came out in, I want to say my senior year, junior or senior year. It must have been my senior year in college. And I was in a class with whopping, I think it was 8 people in ancient Greek. And we were reading, obviously, Homer's work. And that movie came out at the same time while we were actively reading Homeric Greek. And I had spent a lot of time studying classics and whatnot. And I went with my buddy Danny to go see it. And we both, I think, roasted it pretty hard. But that fight scene was really cool. And I remember, and this is why it was so influential, I remember going and scratching my head going, I could do that better. And
bold.
I mean,
words.
it was a really cool fight scene. The way they did it, and it wasn't this huge epic type of thing. It was 2 dudes going against each other to save their armies. And now I've written a book on this. As I said, it was influential. I remember scratching my head going, I could do better, and then I wrote a book on doing better. But it was very accurate about how this would have been done historically, that two people would have come out, offered a duel, and then they would have made promises about weapons exchange, armor exchange, blah, 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 and that they would do it in order to save each other's army. Like it was the lowest cost possible is you two fight, whoever comes out on top, we decide from there.
Pick champions, yeah.
And that was a way that things were done historically, which is kind of cool. And so I think that one was extremely influential. And that was actually really well done, really well choreographed fight scene, I think.
All right, so my turn. Let's see here. Best empty hand fight between two individuals be definitely the two protagonists in They Live. So the Lord. Yeah, I've not seen it. It's definitely worth a watch. So the Lord Goes actually rehearsed a fight scene, but ultimately when the cameras were rolling, they just kind of improvised it. Both being, relatively, good fighters and actors, and that it becomes comical because it just goes on way too long. It's far too long for any fight scene to actually.
Which actors?
Wow, you got me there.
Okay.
One's Roddy Piper and the other lead. Unfortunately, I did look it up recently, but I don't remember it. Let's see here. What was the other one? Oh,
One versus Many.
One versus Many. I'm going to go with more recent movie, Ip Man, the first Ip Man. The lead character, portrayed by Donnie Yen, has to duel among several black belts, and he's just eventually he just wants more and more black belts.
That's a good one.
They just keep dropping.
That's a good one.
Let's see here. Best weapons. I'm going to go with John Wick, and I'm going to go with that John Wick for a few reasons, and probably, pretty well known. Keanu Reeves did do a lot of training for that with all the weapons. He was is very proficient with all of those weapons. He handles them masterfully, but additionally, I think the characterization of martial arts is pretty good. It's genius fight choreography, of course, but I really admired the fact, and I picked up on it pretty quickly, that all of the characters are, they're trying to best one another in martial skill. However, for as good as they are, they're always getting jammed up. Very rarely in the movie do their techniques work on the first go around, on the first attempt, and so whether or not it was conscious or not, they seem to be kind of doing the 3, 2, 1, try something else.
It's actually what we're doing in class tonight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one piece I picked up years ago. 3, 2, 1, do something else because this isn't working. 3, 2, 1.
That's what we were doing tonight.
Choose a different ending. I don't know if that was a conscious decision by the fight choreographers, but it's definitely very well portrayed because all of the characters and especially that first John Wick movie kind of take that approach, and it was relatively new for an action flick, a martial arts flick, to kind of
I still haven't seen them.
Kind of take that approach, as opposed to much more, especially classic Hong Kong films. Is every technique works the first time out, and it's just really not the case when you have to consider having to do this stuff for real or in defense of oneself. And so it's, on a practical level, it's always good to kind of keep that 3, 2, 1, oh, this didn't work and do something else mentality. Otherwise, I think that kind of wraps up most of our comments. You mentioned a book. Where is your book available?
Amazon, you can go look it up. Monomachia, Dueling in Ancient Greece. It's kind of, when I was doing HEMA, I kind of looked at what historic works we had to actually draw from. And obviously, they didn't make records of how people fought back in Bronze Age Greece and whatnot. So what I did was just got my hands on some of the reproduction, really good reproduction kit, so weapons, armor, and whatnot, and then went through every fight scene in individual solo dueling fight scene in the Iliad, kind of worked with translations and whatnot, and then put together what fight scenes would actually look like if you had the weapons and armor of the age.
Is there any chance you might want to film any of that in person?
Oh, I'd love to do that. I have a request for you out there in YouTube land. I don't watch a whole lot of movies. It's the downside of running a business is you don't have a lot of free time. But if there's a great martial arts fight scene out there that I should watch, put it below. I'd be interested to see what people have to say because my knowledge of movies is very limited. So,
all right, there's your challenge. Find the flicks.
John Wick is on there. I gotta eventually watch those.
All right, well, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for viewing. As always, like and subscribe if you like what you see. If you're in the area, Springfield, Virginia, stop by, come stop by and see us. And if you're in the area with a copy of Christopher Dyer's book, stop by with the book, have him autograph it for you. All right, that's it for today. Thanks. Much longer than you ever think it's going to. And somebody forgot to turn off their phone. So we're just gonna wait.